Well, hello, good evening and welcome along to Matchday Live here on Fox's Hub. So, how was everyone's Friday evening then? Well, a 4-0 defeat for Leeds United against QPR on Friday evening secured promotion for the Foxes back to the Premier League at the first time of asking. They got into that position last week because of a brilliant evening on Filbert Way.
An evening kick-off for the last time at King Power this campaign. It's a fantastic atmosphere, the jam-packed King Power Stadium with a big roar from the Leicester City supporters. It's Vito's in on goal for Leicester. Finds the bottom corner. The Foxes fire themselves in front. Left side of the penalty area, sent it into Ndidi. And just like that, the Leicester lead is doubled. For an even better one. It's a stunning Leicester goal. This time he looks for Vardy instead. And it's 4 for Leicester City. As he returns the favour. A 5-star performance, a 5-goal performance from the Foxes.
Well, yes, what an incredible week to be a Leicester City supporter, of course. A brilliant 5-0 win on Tuesday against Southampton was followed by Leeds losing 4-0, which means promotion is secured. Tonight, Leicester will be champions if they get the victory. That's hopefully what we'll see up at Preston, but that makes for really nice reading, seeing that Leicester City at the top of the league. They've been there for so much of the season. Officially, it is done now. Leicester are back and will be playing Premier League football next season. So welcome along. We're all smiles. I think everyone's been all smiles all weekend, haven't they? And yeah, what a brilliant moment. Matt Elliott and Ewan Roberts join me, Dan Bates, as we're going to try and smile our way through the next hour as we build up to kick off at Preston. I keep forgetting there is a game, and we'll talk about that in a moment. We'll get teams in just a moment, but we've got to react firstly, haven't we, guys, to what happened on Friday?
Well, we won't have to try too hard to keep smiling, will we? But yeah, it was almost like a case of, on Tuesday night, there was like, you let half your air out in relief, didn't you? He was like, and breathe a little bit. But there's still a job to be done. You saw the celebratory scenes and you thought, hang on, like, as if they had gone up. But there was the feel that it was going to materialise. And then, of course, Friday night, I thought it was going to be a tight game. And I had a feeling that QPR might pinch a win. Leeds will miss a few chances. It's sort of going that way for both teams at the moment. But 4-0, it was ridiculous. It's like pinching yourself, and then all of a sudden everything just came out, and you're like, yes, breathe properly, relax, do whatever it is you want to do to enjoy the moment, because it's been a long time coming. It's been a long, hard season, hasn't it? And
well, it's been a long 2 years, hasn't it?
Well, yeah, exactly. If you look at it that way, but there's been a lot of highs this season, but a lot of nervousness, and eventually the tension's been broken. Well done to everyone.
I mean, I looked at Leeds' form going into that QPR game, and it wasn't great. You know, they've definitely taken a dip. You looked at QPR's form, who were fighting for their lives, and I think since their new coach has taken over, and I should know his name, but it's not the most easiest of names to say, especially with my friend.
Cifuentes.
That's the one. He's done a fantastic. Cifuentes. He's done a fantastic job there. I think they're the 8th or 9th form team in the league since he's taken over. So, and they were in big trouble then. So I never thought it was going to be a walk in the park for Leeds. I watched it in a pub, I'll be honest with you. I missed the first 2 goals. I looked on the screen and I couldn't believe it. I watched the rest of the game. But yeah, I mean, what happened here on Tuesday with that emphatic 5-0 win against Southampton, that did take the pressure off, because there has been a nervousness, as Matty sort of alluded to in recent weeks, with defeats, you know, especially away from home. But the home form has come right just at the right time.
Yeah, we'll look back at the goals and the best bits from that incredible 5-0 victory here at King Power Stadium last week in just a moment. But we do have to keep talking about what happened Friday. The players all gathered as well with the manager as well. There were some absolutely fantastic scenes. We've already seen Kieran Dewsbury Hall, his celebrations. Let's take a close look at Abdul Kam. We've had Abdul Kam all season, haven't we? Yeah, just unbelievable, and seeing that is great, isn't it? And it brings a smile to everybody's face.
They've been under pressure, because as you said, spent the majority of the season at the top of the league. I bet 99.9% of the season Leicester have been number one in the Championship. So the pressure's been on. Yeah, the form has dipped of late, and there's a lot of noise going about in the second half of the season, which is bound to affect players. But those scenes are brilliant. I mean, they bring back memories of when Chelsea beat Spurs back in 2016, when obviously Leicester were champions of crown champions of the Premier League. And it's now, these next two games, there's still work to be done.
Because they want to be champions.
100%, 100%. And I said, let's win our last three games, get to that 100-point mark. Only 7 teams have got to that magical mark. Leicester are one of them in 2013-14. There's not one club has won the Championship and got 100 points twice. Leicester have got a chance to be that club in these next two games. And obviously, the first one tonight with Preston.
Yeah, there's all sorts of records that Leicester have broken, club records throughout the season. We can talk about those a little bit later. And on Saturday as well, when hopefully Leicester are coming here as champions, or going into that game as champions. If they win tonight, of course, Ipswich play tomorrow. We know that could affect it, but hopefully Leicester get it done this evening. They can be champions. We've seen the messages that are coming through at the bottom of the screen there. People just basically saying they're going for the promotion party up at Preston away. 6,000 Leicester fans going up there tonight.
Good effort.
Yeah,
great effort.
Have a really good
600 here at the stadium as well
Yeah.
this evening. Getting to watch the game as well, and there'll be untold thousands right across the whole county, weren't there? Switching on and listening in, and it's great stuff. Like, the primary objective has been achieved. So that's the main part of the season. The rest is trimmings, but important trimmings. To put that season down sort of historically, isn't it? Really, and if they go up with the 100 points, as Ewan says, great, and as champions, even better. But first and foremost, the job is done, and I think the elation that those players are feeling, the high that they're on. Yes, they've had a lively Friday night and probably a Saturday morning stroke afternoon by the looks of things, but there won't be any recriminations from that, will there? But going into the game, I think that feel-good factor, that buzz that they'll all be experiencing will carry them through, and not only tonight, but into the weekend as well, where it's going to be some afternoon as well, isn't it? Some lunchtime, as it is. That to look forward to. If there were 4 or 5 games gone and they were promotion, I think sometimes you can sort of ebb away a little bit, can't you?
Have an off night.
Yeah, because the edge is taken off your game, but 2 games to see it through to go and win the title, and do what most people have expected you to do, but it was never going to be as straightforward as it seemed early on in the season. But great achievement by everyone concerned. Yeah,
it will be the 8th second-tier title as well that the club will have won, which will be a great achievement, of course. Right, we can see some pictures of Enzo and the staff on Saturday. Matt has alluded to it already. Those celebrations from Friday continued into Seagrave on Saturday morning.
Arms in, lads, come on.
Well, there we go. Some great scenes there on Saturday at Seagrave. Rightly so, the players continuing in those celebrations. We've said a lot about smiles already. That one when Kuntop came in and all the song, the Straight Back Up song was being chanted by the lads. Fantastic.
It is. Great scenes, great scenes. You want to win things in life. I'm not too sure how many of the current squad have actually won a league title. Obviously, Jamie Vardy, Mark Albrighton. I'm not too sure if there's too many more, in all honesty. So for me, finishing second is probably the worst way to go up because you don't get a trophy, you don't get a medal. At least if you win the playoffs, you get a day out Wembley, you get to walk up the stairs, you get a medal at the end of it. So I think it's so important that the lads finish the job off. They've had a good Friday night, and rightly so, because they've had a tremendous season, and they will know it's back to work tonight. You know, it's business again. Go and win one more game, which Preston and Blackburn at home you would expect to win at least one, if not both of those. Go and finish the job off tonight.
Yeah, well, as well as the straight back up chant, there was a touch of class there with Billy Joel and Piano Man.
Yeah.
Not your everyday celebratory song, is it? Not in football terms, but one of my personal favourites. Love a bit of Billy Joel, so well done to the lads. Good choice. But yeah, Top coming in, the big beaming smile on his face, wasn't it? That will set a lot of people's nerves as well, wouldn't it? Not nerves necessarily, but concerns. You know, because it's been a bit. There's been noise on the edges, shall we say, about certain
been a bit of
aspects
negativity, isn't there?
Yeah, in different ways. But then for them to come through, Top's been coming to all the games. He comes to a lot anyway, but over recent times, showing his support, backing his players all the way, and they've come up with the trumps, and he'll be as delighted as anyone. But that feel-good factor, I can't see how it won't carry him through tonight as well. Really, but there might be a little period where I think they'll start well, and I think Preston might have a little huff and puff, but ultimately they'll come through. But what a time in their careers. I managed to be part of a team that come up second from the Championship. Weren't that bad. It was all right, to be fair. We enjoyed it one way or another, that's for sure. But and I'm sure these boys are going to, and well deserved. It's great to see, and it will, hopefully, there's going to be a lot of negotiations between now and start of next season. But the players that are here, that will be here then, that will carry them through as well. I think massive positive. But that's for then. Enjoy the moment
Let's
now.
enjoy the moment. Let's hopefully enjoy 3 points tonight. Let's take a look then at the players that will be hopefully doing that this evening. We haven't got to team news yet. We've had other pressing matters to talk about, haven't we? From a Leicester City point of view, you almost forget there is a game.
It'll be interesting to see who survived the celebration.
Yeah, well, Enzo Maresca has made 4 changes to the side that beat Southampton so convincingly. What was that? Just under a week ago here at King Power Stadium. From a Leicester point of view, those changes, one of them in goal actually, Jakub Stolarczyk. in goal. There we go. There's the team there. So Stolasic, one of the changes. Cody, another, as is McAteer and Eunice as well. So it's Stolasic in goal. Fast, Vestergaard, Cody and Ricardo. Winks, Eunice and Ndidi in midfield with McAteer and Fatawu supporting Jamie. Vardy on the bench, spots for Hermanson, Justin, Doyle, Mavididi, Chowdhury, Daka, Dewsbury Hall, Pratt and Tom Cannon as well. From a Preston point of view, this is how they line up. They've got Woodman in goal, Hughes, Lindsay and Watmo are the three central defenders. The wing-backs will be Brady and Miller, Ledson and Brown in midfield, with Jensen supporting Keane and Osmajic. They're both of tonight's teams then, and we've spoken a little bit about, like you said, just going out there and wanting to go and get that 3 points, to be able to continue the celebrations. There'll be celebrations regardless, won't there? That away end, we've referenced it, are going to be bouncing.
That will take them through as well, yeah.
But they'll want to go there, as Ewan's rightly said, and get that 3 points. And that team, we've just seen it there, we know is more than capable of doing that.
Yeah, notice Dewsbury Hall's not in the starting lineup. We did have shades on Saturday morning. Sorry, Kieran, but it's got to be pointed out. But he's done it more than his fair share, hasn't he? But listen, we've talked all year about the strength of Leicester's squad. That team is strong enough to go and win any game in the Championship. Certainly, without being too dismissive of Preston, but Leicester will fancy the chances going in there. You're not going to get too many complaints of team selection right now, are you? But I fancy them to go and do the job. Yeah, like you said, backed by that army of supporters as well. That's going to be massive at Deepdale, right there with 6,000 away supporters.
When you're coming out that
home fans are going to be, oh, what's happening here? So and the home players as well. So that will have an effect in a positive fashion. But listen, all the signs are pointing to Leicester going and finishing the job off, and I don't see why it's not going to happen.
Because at Deepdale, have you ever been there?
Yes.
You come out in that corner, didn't you? Mm-hmm. And you come out and you face the stand that the away supporters go into. So you can imagine when they're coming out that tunnel and they can see those 6,000 fans in that away end. That'd be unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
Envious that almost you're not there in that away end, because it's.
And looking at the changes, Dan, 3 of the 4 for me have been 3 of probably the first name players on the team sheet most weeks. It's not often Mads hasn't started. Dewsbury Hall has been magnificent. Started probably the majority of the games. And the same with Steffi Mavididi, who's been a revelation with the numbers and the performances that he's put up. But those 3 have started, I would say, 98% of Leicester City's games this season. So you freshen things up, and I think the manager is spot on in doing that.
Keane and Dewsbury Hall, I mean, it's the player awards, obviously, tomorrow evening. We don't know who's going to win that yet. He's very much in the running, isn't he, potentially for player of the season. You look at his numbers, 12 goals, 14 assists. That's a great return from midfield, isn't it?
Yeah, he's been the main man, hasn't he, really? I think there have been lots of excellent performances over the course of the season. The 2 wingers, Mavididi, particularly in spells. Harry Winks was talked about in the first half of the season as, probable player of the season, certainly in contention. I think Dewsbury Hall, with the goal assists and the goals scored, in a numbers sense, probably had the biggest impact, hasn't he? But big performances consistently throughout, really. Ricardo's been, a class above anyone else in his sort of category, if you like, in the league. And even the centre halves have come in and they've
adopted well.
Haven't they? Because there was a lot of
brand new system
doubt about their
style
capabilities, and to learn a new way of defending almost as well. Especially Vestergaard at sort of latter stages of his career, he's impressed, hasn't he? And big performances throughout. But looking at, I'm mildly surprised Jamie's there starting in the game, because he was unbelievable against Southampton, by the way. At this stage of the season, that was his sharpest he's looked. And for, 78 minutes or so? I don't know, he was on the field of play. He gets to start. He must have matured in his old age, Jamie, and behaved a little bit with the celebrations. If he's ready to play from the off this evening. But, what testament to him as well. But, it could go on and on. But the squad's there. McAteer, He was one of the main figures early
He
in the
scored
season.
some huge
Yeah, he
goals.
did.
at the
Yeah,
start of
when
the
he
season.
was like really at it and raring, it obviously hindered him a little bit, and then the other boys have sort of cemented their place out wide. There's a case for all of them. Getting a warranted start there. It's not just because of how things have panned out, but listen, Leicester have got that quality throughout, haven't they? There has been a sort of first 11/13, but at the same time, the backup is pretty tasty, as you can see with Connor Cody stepping in.
Absolutely. Right, you've referenced that game on Tuesday then against Southampton, and what an evening that was at King Power Stadium just under a week ago. A fantastic 5-star performance.
Pretty early, just backed off and sort of steadied himself.
Here's Fatawu, who's in on goal for Leicester. And hence the wall. Finds the bottom corner. And with 25 minutes on the clock, it's the Foxes who fire themselves in front. It was just behind the number 10, who will still keep things alive. Left side of the penalty area, centred into Ndidi! And just like that, the Leicester lead is doubled. It's almost like a carbon copy of the goal against West Bromwich Albion at the weekend. It's Fatawu, who opened the scoring this evening with a fine goal as he looks for an even better one. As he curls it into the far corner. It's a stunning Leicester goal as they do get the third to finish Southampton off. Fatawu, I'm sure there'll be some cries for him to cut in and shoot again, but this time he looks for Vardy instead. And Leicester City have an emphatic fourth. It was never going to be a game against Southampton without a Vardy goal. He's got options left and right. He finds Vardy, and there's Fatawu as he returns the favour back to the number 9. He set up Vardy before. Vardy then let it run for Fatawu, and it was the easiest finish of them all.
Yeah, what a brilliant night here at King Power Stadium.
Can we watch that again?
Pardon?
Can we watch that again?
Yeah, we can certainly see the
Perfect
goals
football,
again,
wasn't it?
can't we?
Perfect.
Yeah, we were obviously all out there. We were watching it. You were on commentary.
Yeah.
You and I watched it next to each other, and we celebrated every goal, didn't we? Because it was a huge evening, and you got the sense that it was at full time. You can see from the celebrations at full time as well, just how much it meant.
You just got the sense a couple of weeks ago how big that Southampton game was going to be, because they were on a decent run. They still had a sort of half a chance if they won all their games of maybe nicking a top 2 spot. But the way the lads dismantled them, it was magnificent. One, if not the best performance of the season. There was a clinical side to the team that maybe we haven't seen as often in the second half of the season, because you think the games that we've dropped points in had plenty of chances to have won those games, but all 5 goals, absolutely outstanding. You know, the first one, Dewsbury Hall's pass for Fatawu, the way he keeps his composure to finish it. The second one, Jamie Vardy's lovely little flick to Stefan Mamadidi, good ball in, a great example of how to attack a ball from Ndidi. Fatawu, as he does, cuts in for the
Look
third.
at that smile as well. With
It's,
the match
honestly, Jamie Vardy's finish, absolutely magnificent, hitting it first time as he's run across the defender. And even the move for the 5th goal was superb. And so it looks a simple goal in the end, but believe you me, that ball bounces quite awkwardly for Abdul Fatawu. And his technique and his concentration level was superb to put it in. A great night, absolutely great night.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, 5 really quality goals.
Yeah, listen, we're getting a rerun. We've got what I requested. It's, you know, you could watch it again and again and again, couldn't you? An array and a variety of goals, but all high quality. They were super on the night, when it sort of rubber stamped the whole season pretty much, didn't it? And because you felt as if like But this is what we've come to expect. Not expect, but like we know that Leicester are capable of that sort of performance. And it just all came together when it really needed to. That was reminiscent, although I agree with you, and I think in fact it was the best performance of the season. And Maresca disagrees, but in terms of entertainment and the situation, the quality of the goals, etc. But they were doing that quite regularly, not as spectacularly, but they were overwhelming teams in the first 2/3 of the season. The majority of the time, yes, there were tight games, but they were by far the best team around. But then it just went a bit wayward for whatever reason you want to pinpoint. It would have been such a shame if they got themselves in that position and it had deteriorated. But fair play to them. They've knuckled down, they've pulled together, and they've turned it round, and they've come out justifiably as promotion winners.
Yeah, well, there was a lot of noise, wasn't there, that was coming out when a couple of the defeats had gone. The other teams were losing as well around them. That obviously helped in that period. What was that, a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago? But and you've already referenced it, these home games that they've had in a row now, and then they've picked up maximum points in all of those. That's just what champions do. They go on runs like that at really important moments.
Find a way, Dan.
Yeah.
They find a way to start winning again and get that winning mentality back into that dressing room. And that's what's happened. We've spoke about it many, many times in this studio. This championship, whatever championship season, it's so unpredictable. You know, a team from the bottom can go to, as we saw Blackburn going to Leeds. You know, QPR came here and beat Leicester. It is so unpredictable. You've just got to find a way, and that's exactly what the lads have done. When you think of the start, I said it the other night, 58 points from the first 23 games, first half of the season. That's never been heard of. And every team will have that little bit of a blip. It's how short you make that blip. It's gone a little bit longer than we would have liked, that we anticipated. But the lads have got over the line. You know, they've found a way when maybe away form has been fantastic away from home, best away form in the division. But all of a sudden, we lose at Millwall, we lose at Plymouth, we lose at another Bristol City, which started that disappointing away form. But then on the flip side, we've started winning at the King Power, and 4 wins on the spin now has got us over the line.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, Bates, quickly, sorry, just as well, I mean, maybe something to take into consideration is like a change of style of play, but also that they're finding out how the way they play, how to apply that in a certain pressurised situation, you know, at a certain stage of the season that you found. And it looked like some of them found that a little bit difficult. Like early on, I was going for it, it's new, it's exciting, and we're adapting to it, but then how to apply that, you know, at the crunch sort of stage of the season. You know, the manager will look at that as well and think, like, okay, what are we doing wrong? Because we've spoken to some of the players, haven't we, here live, and they've said that we got together and we were trying to work out why we're conceding late in games. So they addressed that, and they've come up with a solution for it, and fair play to them for that.
Yeah, and that comes really from the top, doesn't it? That comes from Enzo Maresca, and we've heard that there was a player-only meeting that happened after those games and those defeats, and again, that's where that not just it's come from the manager, the players themselves. They've taken responsibility this season when the chips were down, and they've absolutely delivered.
Which is exactly what you want. Players getting together. You've got some big characters in there. You've got some leaders. I'm sure they've probably got a leadership group as well that will have sort of called that meeting.
There's a fair amount of experience.
There is. What's it? There's more than one way to skin a cat. Is that the?
Yeah.
And it's true about football matches. There's more than one way to win a game. And I'll tell you what I noticed the other night against Southampton that hasn't happened this season. The amount of times Mads Hermansen kicked the ball out of his hands. You know, normally we're passing out the back. I mean, more than once he sort of booted it downfield looking for Jamie Vardy. And that's something that hasn't really happened this season under Enzo.
I think the players recognised how important it was to get back. You know, it's a big moment for the club, a big period, but also for them as individuals as well. You know, and they remember this phase of their career. They've achieved things collectively, not when the chips are down, but when it was most needed. they've come to the fore and they've stood up, and I think that's driven them on as well. To have that almost desperation not to let that situation slip out their hands.
Yeah.
Because it's going to determine a lot of their immediate futures as well. Getting back into the Premier League, mostly in a positive way, you would imagine.
I would have been worried sick had the club finished third, because I don't think this year the club that finishes third, because of how good Leicester, Ipswich and Leeds have been, you've got 3 clubs on 90 points. I don't think that's ever happened at this level before. So I just think the club that will finish in that third position will be on such a downer. It's going to be so hard to lift those players up for those playoffs.
Especially when the opportunity has been there.
Yeah, and you've not taken it.
It's not like everyone's outstripped each other. They've all faltered a little bit.
At the same time as well, Matty.
Yeah.
But Leicester...
All's well that ends well.
Well, exactly. And Leicester, as we know, and as we saw really culminating on Tuesday night, just pulled it really together at the very, very right moment. The precise moment.
Showed their quality in this division. And, and it's not sort of saying in hindsight, and it's not being arrogant, but for me, Leicester, football-wise, a level, a class ahead of any of the teams, to be fair, in all honesty, in terms of the technical aspects of it. There are other attributes that the teams have as well, and very good sides in the league. Don't get me wrong, but I think best way to describe probably the classiest team, I would say, from a football purist sense. Is that fair to say?
I
don't think I'm getting too carried away just because they've got themselves promoted, but that's been the impression that most people have had.
Yeah.
And they showed that on Tuesday night. That was it all coming together. Ironically, probably the least amount of possession they've had in a game, I think. But we've touched on that before. That suits them. Leicester have that capability against Southampton before, Birmingham away, numerous other teams, Stoke away, and others. Which might, and I'm not getting ahead of myself now because Leicester are promoted now, might bode well next season because it's going to be less, possession dominant for Leicester, you would imagine.
Well, let's hear from the manager then, Enzo Maresca, after the game on Tuesday. So before we knew still that the promotion was secured, he spoke following that brilliant victory over Southampton.
It's a team that beat already. They have a good record with the first 8 teams of the league, with Norwich or Southampton, or with all of us. I said they beat Ipswich, they beat Leeds, they beat Coventry, so they are very good. Will be a tough game.
They can no longer make the playoffs. I wonder whether it's better at this stage of the season to play against a side that don't have anything to play for.
No, because you have seen, I think, weeks ago, Sunderland or Watford, they draw against Ipswich or they beat Ipswich. I don't remember one of them anyway, but you can see that in this moment, no matter, because everyone want to finish well. You have, clubs with players on loan. Everyone wants to finish in the right way.
That was Enzo Maresca there, speaking about tonight's opponents. Preston, of course, like we said, before we found out what happened on Friday. And you could even see there that the focus immediately shifted, didn't it, from Tuesday night's win against Southampton to preparing for this, because there might have been an eventuality where Leicester had to win tonight to help gain that promotion. And actually, conversely, now it's win tonight and you're champions. So it's the same build up to the game, if you like.
Dan, Enzo's come from a club with such a winning mentality, who are used to winning silverware after silverware after silverware, and I think he's brought that here. It's only his second job as head coach. Things didn't quite work out for him. I think was it Parma he was at before he went to Man City, but he's obviously learned so much under Guardiola at Man City. He's brought that here. The lads have bought into it, but he will want that can't even say it, championship trophy at the end of the season.
Well, 100%. Yeah, that was the aim at the start of the season. Yeah. It was to go back up, of course it was, but they wanted to do it as champions and really lay a marker down.
Yeah, and just got that extra sort of polish on the achievement, hasn't it? And I think they will get that, and I think most people for the majority of the season, expected that to be the case. But one thing saying it, another thing actually going and completing it. And hopefully they'll do it in fine style. And with the prospect of, again, it's dangerous to look ahead, but Saturday against Blackburn, what an occasion that could be. So you'd think the sort of euphoria will carry them through that as well. So it's got all the prospects, of a really exciting and impressive end of season, hasn't it? And certainly it's gone that way over the last few games or so. And I don't imagine it won't continue really. With Maresca at the helm, we've heard him speak about how Harry Winks spoke to us, didn't he, earlier in the season, saying about how Maresca told the players off for not celebrating enough because they were mildly disappointed. Who was it they played? They just won a narrow victory, 1-0, I think it was.
Sunderland.
Was it Sunderland? Yeah. And he was like, hey, a win's a win. Like, enjoy that, maximise it, savour it, and cherish it, really, and make the most of it. They've done that, but at the same time, once that celebration is finished, then it's all hands to the pump. All focus on the challenge ahead. And he's been pretty impressive, hasn't he? The way that he's taken over or gained, like overnight, the full respect for the players. They've just sort of, you can sense it. They've just bought into it from hour one, haven't they? They must have been excited themselves when they heard, like, oh, Enzo Maresca's coming. Oh, yeah, this is going to be intriguing, interesting, and beneficial for their careers. So it's proved. And
immediately finding out that your right back is basically playing in midfield as well, which is a completely new change of system, and it worked, and it really did work from minute one as well.
You look at the start of the season, the club won their first 4 league games for the first time in its history, and we spoke about the early goal or the late goals that the club conceded in the second half of this season. They were scoring plenty of late goals themselves, weren't they? The 2 against Coventry, the 1 against Cardiff. But then, great win in the first 4 games of the season. But then to win your 13 out of your first 14 league games, that is incredible. When you think,
which included 9 in a row, which is matched the club record.
So when you think that there's a new man come in, there's a lot of players that left in the summer. There was a great crowd around the football club after sleepwalking into relegation. No one expected that at the beginning of last season. There was a horrible bitter taste after what happened on the last day of the season, even though we beat West Ham here. So to galvanise and lift not just the whole football club, but the whole city and the whole county of Leicestershire, he's done an absolutely superb job.
You can see that the instant he came in, you see the players had a feel and supporters had confidence in him straight away, as if he knows what he's doing. It's not like, he's a little bit of an unknown, even though he's been at clubs of the stature and Man City and worked with Guardiola, but not a little bit under the radar. But he went, let's see what this coach is all about. So it wasn't that. It was straight away you could see, he's got this sussed. It's just about how much the players can adapt to him. And fair play to them, they have. They've talked themselves about how much of a footballing education they've had under him. And it sounds a bit exaggerated, but they literally see it as that, don't they? Almost a reinvention of their game, yeah. Keenan Dewsbury Hall spoke to him and he said, we were almost embarrassed how little we knew in comparison to what he was trying to put across to us. But they've picked up and learnt exceptionally well, haven't they? And fair play to them for that, because it's not that easy, as I know from my own experiences, but adapting. But he's been pretty impressive, hasn't he, Mr. Maresca?
Very much so, as have pretty much every single one of the players. Let's hear from one of those right now. Jamie Vardy's got 18 goals in all competitions this season as Leicester City's top scorer, and he's been speaking ahead of the game tonight at Deepdale.
I'm sure it was a good night on Friday, but now full focus back on the football this evening.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I was just saying there, I watched the game at home, promised my little boy I'd watch it with him, and he wanted to stay up late for once because he didn't have school the next day. So I watched it with the kids and the wife and just chilled, got ready to go again, because obviously we were in training the next day.
Promotion has now been secured, but you want the title, you want to win that trophy, and that's what you can do here tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Like you say, we've obviously got promoted now. That's been put to bed. We've now got 2 games left where we know that one more win will clinch that title, so that's what we'll be looking to do.
Just finally, over 5,000 of the Blue Army coming here tonight in that away, and that'll be some atmosphere, won't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a long way to come, you know what I mean, but they travel in the numbers every single week and they're always so loud, getting the lads all G'd up, and it means a lot to us, obviously, being in there on the pitch, having them all behind us.
Jamie Vardy there speaking tonight pitchside at Deepdale ahead of kickoff. He is in the starting 11. Enzo Maresca has decided to make 4 changes from the side that so convincingly beat Southampton here at King Power Stadium just under a week ago. One of the changes is in goal, actually. Mads Hermansen is on the bench. Jakub Stolarczyk comes in to the starting 11, as do Casey McAteer, Eunice and Connor Cody. So this is the 11. Then it's Stolarczyk in goal, Fass, Vestergaard, Cody and Ricardo, Winks, Eunice and Ndidi, with McAteer and Fatawu supporting Jamie Vardy. From a Preston point of view, they started the season really well, but then just slipped away in the past couple of months. They're not playing for anything this evening. They can't make the playoffs. This is their team. It's Woodman in goal, Hughes, Lindsay and Watmo as the 3 central defenders. Brady and Miller are the wing-backs. Ledson and Brown in midfield, with Jensen supporting Keane and Osmadjic. So they're the 2 teams facing off this tonight. We've not actually spoken too much about the game, have we? This evening, as we said, there's been other pressing matters, but they want that 3 points. How do they go about and do that? Because there will be that carnival atmosphere in the away end, won't there? And the players themselves, as we heard from Jamie Vardy just then, he says full focus is on that game tonight. They want to get the win that secures them as the champions.
I look at the Southampton performance, and the tempo and the intensity was magnificent, and I think that's what won them the game. Plus, obviously, the clinical side of putting the chances away when they sort of come your way. But yeah, I just thought the tempo was far quicker with the ball. We mixed the game up a little bit, as I said earlier, with maybe going a bit longer than what we have done in the majority of games this season. I mean, Preston, nothing to play for. You know, as you said, they were there or thereabouts in the top 6 until the last 3 games, which they've lost. They haven't scored a goal in those last 3 games. Just go and turn the screw. You know, when you've got someone where you want them, they're going to be down. Just go and start the game as well as what you did on Tuesday night against Southampton.
Yeah, you don't envy being a Preston North End player tonight, do you really? I mean, listen, you never know with football. We know how strange a game it is, but I think the momentum that Leicester will be going up there with, the high that they're on, the supporters behind them, I think they'll start the game just naturally very well. It will just flow for them. Hopefully there will be some sort of breakthrough, but if there isn't, then perhaps Preston, if they weather a bit of a storm for 20 minutes maybe, and they start thinking, hang on a sec, we're at home, we've got to show a bit of pride, which they'll be attempted to do, obviously from the off, but they'll be. They won't be looking forward to this challenge. The Foxes travelling up and just recently promoted, and with the prospects of the title there, it's quite a fearful task ahead of them, really. But I don't know. Football rarely goes as you expect it, doesn't it? But I'm as confident as I can be that Leicester will finish the job off tonight.
I think not that the shackles haven't been taken off before this season, but I just think because now promotion has been secured, I think we might see a performance tonight. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think there'll be more of a freedom
because
about...
it's a different pressure, isn't it?
It is.
Playing to be champions rather than they're up now.
I think tonight, especially after what's happened away from home recently, I think the lads could take their game to a different level.
But yeah, and that would be great to see, because you want to. It would be a shame to go up there and not get the win because of
the build-up and everything to the game.
We just look at it from Preston's point of view. You think, how do you go about it? Because, like you said, they haven't got much to play for. They're not in good form. but they're at home, so they've got to show a bit of spirit and resilience. That can be knocked out of them if Leicester start impressively. But also, it's a bit of catch-22 for them as well. They go, right, listen, we're at home, bit of pride at stake. Do we ever go at Leicester? And they saw what happened when Southampton tried to do that at the King Power. Leicester are capable of cutting them open, on and off throughout the game. But or do they try and sit there and be solid? But it's just the flow is with the force is with Leicester at the moment, isn't it? And it's going to be a tough night for Preston players, you feel.
I agree. I mean, you know what it's like when you're the home side, last home game of the season, all the awards have been handed out, and one thing, you want to go out with a bang, and that could be a big mistake for Preston. I think they'll have a go at Leicester, which could play into Leicester's hands.
Yeah, that's a good way, actually, of putting it, that they'll want to, because their season eventually has ended in disappointment, because they were in and around the playoffs for so long, just fell away. They'll want to end the season in front of the supporters, like you said.
I think it's the last game they would want. It's like Leicester City coming in, like their season's dwindled away, and they can't get anywhere despite their best efforts, and they're just, come on, let's get this season over with. Who have we got? Oh, Leicester City. I could have done without that. That's privately how they'd be thinking. They're not going to declare that publicly, but fair play to them. If they give a good showing of themselves, they've done well.
Leicester needs 6 points to get to the 100-point mark. As you referenced earlier, that will be such an achievement to do that again twice as a football club. And that's got to be something that they want to go and win these final two. They want to be a group that can say, we've gone and we've got 100 points in the Championship. We were champions by, we don't know how many points it might be by the end of the season. Hopefully it will be 4. Could even be more than that.
For long periods of this season, we thought it's going to be at least 100 points. We've been speaking about the Reading record of 106. We could see that being surpassed. The way the lads started the season, the first half of the season was incredible. And it might be a little thing, but I think it's a big thing for the lads to go win their last 2 games and get to that 100 mark barrier. Only the first team to do it twice at this level. What a nice thing that would be to end the season with.
Yeah, it just rounds it off nicely.
It does.
Puts the
polish
on proceedings,
it as well, I think.
Yeah, and exactly. It's just got a little bit more. Not that it matters ultimately, but a little bit. Well, possibly it does. It'll give you a bit more sort of.
It's your own personal pride, I think, isn't it?
A little bit. Yeah, one, it's an achievement. Yeah. It's nice to look back on, and we were champions, so we didn't just get promoted, but the champions. But also taking that sort of extra confidence into the Premier League next season. You go in there sort of like, we won the Championship, we were forced to be reckoned with, rather than we scraped in by the skin of our teeth in the playoffs.
And we want to see them lift the trophy on Saturday.
Yeah, it's all that little bit more impressive. And it'll have a little bit of a bearing on, to a very small degree, on the start of next season, maybe.
We had great scenes here, didn't we? Was it Everton, the visitors on the last day, where the Premier League trophy was handed over? I mean, they're days that people will never, ever, ever forget. Okay, maybe winning the championship isn't sort of at the same level, but it's still a big thing for the football club to do.
Absolutely. And hopefully they can do so this evening. We know that a win will make Leicester City the champions this evening. Coming up, we are now, just 10 minutes away from kickoff. We'll have coverage of the clash this evening. And again, hopefully when we next talk, or certainly after half-time at full-time, we'll be speaking about the champions of the Championship this season.
If you are watching on lcfc.com, just sit back and relax. If you are watching on social media, the live stream will finish shortly. If you want to continue enjoying our coverage, you'll need to head over to lcfc.com/Foxes Hub and purchase one of our game passes. If you are watching in a territory where the game isn't live on TV, you'll be able to watch a live video stream on Foxes Hub. Please visit lcfc.com/territories to check. If you can't find your location, live audio commentary is still available. You'll need to have an lcfc.com account before you purchase your Game Pass. If you already have one, please sign in and select your product at lcfc.com/Foxes Hub. Select the Buy button and you'll be taken to the payment page. Once you've followed the simple payment steps, press Continue at the bottom of the screen and you'll be taken to the Foxes Hub homepage. If you purchased a video pass, please select Watch Live from the Foxes Hub drop-down menu. If you purchased a Listen Live pass, please select Listen Live. If you purchased a seasonal or monthly video pass and the game is not being shown in your territory, please select Listen Live. If you are having a payment or technical issue, please email Leicester TV Support at streamamg.com. Thank you, and we hope you enjoy the match.
Who wants to join me? Shopping at King Power. 3-day, 2-night stay booked. See ya.
To the rooftop bar.
To snap a photo for my IG.
To eat the famous pad thai.
The new collection is calling me.
Sure, there's a perfume I want. Let me ask my sis.
Yes, of course I'm going. Leicester City, Fox never quit.
Let's go. It's possible because King Power is more than just duty-free. Shop latest trends in beauty and gadgets. Your coolest staycation. The legendary pad thai. Best street food in town. A place to support your team. A fancy dinner. Enjoy shopping at downtown stores and online. Or even the thrill of a new experience. Explore your everyday possibilities. The power of possibilities. King Power.
The new season's nearly here and the opinions are getting stronger.
We've got serious pulling power now.
What? To get the top 2 players now?
Aye?
It's like I've been saying, if he settles the squad, we'll be back on top.
Only this time we're going for the quadruple.
You are joking, aren't you?
The time for talk is nearly over.
With over £4 million in free bet giveaways and huge price boosts, kick off your season with Sky Bet. That's betting better.
You're built different. Breathing new life into broken. Taking matters into your own hands. Assembling big dreams from the small things. Never stopping until you find the right part at the right price. That's the eBay way.
Hello, football fans. This is a smart meter display. It helps you tackle energy usage, manage your spending, and keep you on target. Now that's a hat trick. Search Get a Smart Meter today.
The new season's nearly here and the opinions are getting stronger.
We've got serious pulling power now.
What? To get the top 2 players now?
Aye?
It's like I've been saying, if he settles the squad, we'll be back on top.
Only this time we're going for the quadruple.
You are joking, aren't you?
The time for talk is nearly over.
With over £4 million in free bet giveaways and huge price boosts, kick off your season with Sky Bet. That's betting better.
Who wants to join me? Shopping at King Power. 3-day, 2-night stay booked. See ya.
To the rooftop bar.
To snap a photo for my IG. To eat the famous pad thai.
The new collection is calling me.
Sure, there's a perfume I want. Let me ask my sis. Yes, of course I'm going. Leicester City, Fox never quit.
Let's go. It's possible because King Power is more than just duty-free. Shop latest trends in beauty and gadgets. Your coolest staycation. The legendary Pad Thai, best street food in town. A place to support your team. A fancy dinner. Enjoy shopping at downtown stores and online. Or even the thrill of a new experience. Explore your everyday possibilities. The power of possibilities. King Power.
The new season's nearly here and the opinions are getting stronger.
We've got serious pulling power now.
Oh, to get the top players now.
Right?
It's like I've been saying, if he settles the squad, we'll be back on top.
Only this time we're going for the quadruple.
You are joking, aren't you?
The time for talk is nearly over.
With over £4 million in free bet giveaways and huge price boosts, kick off your season with Sky Bet. That's betting better.
You're built different. Breathing new life into broken. Taking matters into your own hands. Assembling big dreams from the small things. Never stopping until you find right part at the right price. That's the eBay way.
Hello, football fans. This is a smart meter display. It helps you tackle energy usage, manage your spending, and keep you on target. Now that's a hat trick.
Good evening, everyone. Preston is the location for a Leicester City promotion party.